many hours do you think if I spend 15 hours a week, do you think I will be able to at least make comfortable enough to make modifications to Ruby on Rails code by the end of the year?
Yeah, honestly, if you can, so the actual Rails project, they go through the harder tutorial, and if you can get through that, you can get through Rails goes. Some other things might have a learning curve, but that's probably the most, I guess, it gives you a good overall as far as Rails goes, and it gets you started from the basics to kind of the more the advanced stuff pretty quickly. It's in book format, and it's about like 11 chapters, I think.
Yeah, I started with that, then I realized I need more foundation on Ruby, so that's why I came back to Ruby. That's what happened.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you should have no problem. I mean, I was actually creating Rails apps. I did the 1 month Rails, so I did that within 2 weeks. I actually completed my second app, I think, in January. So I took a month off trying to learn Ruby, and then I completed my first app through a tutorial in January. So I mean, within 2 months, you should have no issue. And you've been doing it for a little bit, so you've got the background.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I feel like I'm there, I'm not there. That's how I feel most of the time.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's all about practicing, and that's the one reason why I'm doing this, because I need to practice, and doing the group actually helps me practice on a regular basis.
Got it. So I'm on Cloud 9 now. I can do. It says sign in to edit. Do you want me to do something or?
If you want to sign in and edit at the end when we actually kind of mess around with the code a little bit, you will need to sign in.
Okay.
And I can add you to edit.
Okay.
But let me just get through some basic stuff, so that way. So as far as everybody's watching right now, and I saw Horvath, you had jumped on too. Appreciate your help this morning. Can
you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Good.
So
yeah, it's almost evening here in Hungary, so it's not really a morning here. So
yeah,
fine.
That is. And I guess that's the beauty of having you know, the internet and being able to associate with people through it.
Yeah.
I definitely would not have heard of you unless it was Google Plus. But so jumping into this week, I only have a couple slides. I'm kind of trying to get away from doing slides. This wasn't my goal, was doing slides, but it kind of helps start off the session when people jump in. But this is obviously week 2. This is me, and that's my contact information. We're going to the Odin project for everybody who might be jumping in. Some people have not jumped in until this week, so some people will be watching tonight when I do it again for the first time. So we are going to the curriculum on the Odin project. You want to go ahead and sign up through that. And some news, yesterday afternoon I had played around early yesterday, Sunday morning, and actually, yeah, Sunday morning it was, and threw together the Ruby Newbie site. And then graciously, Horvath actually helped and with some of the stylization of it and made it less Bootstrap, which is great because as far as front end for me, it's Bootstrap. So Horvath, I appreciate you contributing to that. So, but this is the site as it is live. It's just reiterating all the information that's here in the study group. I just found it kind of hard to kind of continue to tell people to go to the study group, and we can't technically have like maybe we need to do a pull request, but it'd be nice if you can do /Ruby and it would come up, but technically it doesn't do it, so it's actually quite confusing when explaining. So I just made the site, and I've been wanting to do it for a while as far as having the ability to have live video. So the video that we're creating right now, I would love to have it live on the site, so that way you can implement it and then actually have a chat session down here. So we do get a lot of people who don't join in the actual chat, so that'd be great to have that functionality. But also here, there's a fork me on GitHub. All you have to do is just fork the project and then follow the instructions here on how to contribute. And there's some simple stuff. You can just do it all within GitHub, or you can actually go through the setup instructions and git clone. I guess I should add git clone to it, but literally just type in git clone and the URL into your terminal, and it'll create a folder, and you can start working from there. If you have any familiarity with Rails, it is a Rails app. It might be overkill for what we're actually working with because it's all static pages. But at the moment, it is a Rails app, just because that's the one I'm most comfortable with, and I was able to do Rails New yesterday and make it a lot easier just to start off with. But that's all I wanted to say about that. RubyNewbies.org is live and available to anybody who wants to view it, and all the information will just be siphoned through here from now on, as far as the links to the Google Plus community, the Odin link here, got some other stuff here. But yeah, hopefully we'll be fixing this up and making it look real nice and get this going. But moving on. So really, I just wanted to go through the actual this week's lesson. I do have my transcript as far as got my intro. So this week we're going to be working on the assignment, which is the project. Probably should name that project. I'll change that later. But in the curriculum, and a lot of people when we first started, actually, so this is technically the third week, but we started, this was technically the second week. Two technicals, I guess. I don't know what that means, but a lot of people weren't sure if they were Ruby newbies. They weren't sure where, like, if they were even up to speed enough. So I kind of gave us a couple weeks to kind of go through the Chris Pine tutorial. If you didn't do it, you should have enough time to at least get through the first 10 chapters as far as reading, and at least complete one of each project that's in there. Because as far as the projects that are here, they're a little more advanced than the Chris Pine, but they're very obtainable. It just takes a little more work. But as far as the page goes, there's 3 projects on the page. I actually started in the third one, and if you wanted to see, just skip ahead and see my solution. It's here. But I started the third one. I guess it's just the way I work. I always work bottom up. Whenever I take tests or anything, I always go bottom up for whatever reason. So I started with the third one. I completed it, and what I wanted to do is just take up the rest of the time and talk about as far as everybody's pace, where you are as far as Ruby, what do you expect to obtain from going through this group, because we're going to do 10 weeks. So we've got, after this week, we'll have 8 more weeks, and the goal is to get all the way through testing. If we can make it through testing, we're doing good. And the final project, it might be a little much, but if we can get there, that would be great. If not, I am definitely going to be redoing this. I've already thought about it since I already have the site up and got the cadence down. I'm definitely going to do this again, probably in the fall. Probably take a couple weeks off in the summer and start from the beginning again. So even if you're just watching, you haven't done anything with us, I will redo this in a month. But hopefully in that time, you should always be up to speed to kind of race through some of these projects. But so let's jump back into the group and turn off screen share real quick. So as far as the guys that are here, I know, Nima, you were saying that you have some web dev background. You're just trying to get more of a Ruby centric focus. Did you complete the Learn to Program curriculum at all?
Yes, I did.
You did. And did you do any of the problem set in the back of it?
I did.
Okay, so that's good. And Horvath, I know you've been doing some Ruby for a while, right? Is that correct?
Yes, but so I'm kind of on a basic level in Ruby. I did the Code Academy.
Okay, perfect. Because the Code Academy was one of the prereqs that were thrown out there in the Getting Started guide that I threw out there. So that's good. So as far as, have you guys approached any projects as far as Ruby outside of the simple stuff, Learn to Program? Because some of this stuff is, so let's just read through. This is what I want to focus on. So implementing a method of substrings takes a word in the first argument, takes a word in the first argument and then an array of valid substrings, your dictionary, which they kind of lay out here. So you have a dictionary of words, and it wants you to actually call this method substrings, with the first argument being your word and the second argument being all your dictionary words. and it returns a hash telling you how many times the word below is found within there. So I actually implemented this, but I wanted to kind of walk through it using Cloud9. If you guys had time, let's see. Just give me one sec. I'm going to throw, if you wanted to jump in here, or that also, that's the link to the Cloud9 page. Once you sign in and log in, you could actually, we can live code at the same time.
Nice.
So, oops. Let me just throw my screen share back up. Oh, here we go. And you should see my screen.
Brian, unless I'm doing something wrong, I just click on it and I need to sign up as a new person, or what do I do? Sign up for the account?
You will need to sign up with an account.
Oh, okay, got it.
So, yeah, I definitely didn't want to just go through all the answers of the problems, but I kind of feel like if you're up to this part and you've gone to the first 2 weeks with us, and you might not be up to speed to actually even attempt this problem, I did want to go ahead and walk through this problem because you can actually use the same sort of method to attempt the rest of the problems. So let's walk through here. So basically what I did, and close your eyes, that was the answer, but it's easier. And if you guys can see that, you guys can see my screen?
Yes.
All right, so what I usually do is I take the problem set and I'll just have it in here so that way I don't have to go back and forth. Everybody's got their own method of working through problems or anything. This is the way I do it. And then I started writing test, but I felt like that was a little too advanced, especially since we're going to be doing tests later. But I guess the simplest way of writing test is just literally just taking this method call with that with the two arguments and putting in the bottom. So that way when I run the terminal, you know, I think I had to do something else in order to let you guys see. So real quick, are you guys able to see when you enter the link and you're logged in and everything? Are you able to see the actual project?
I'm still trying to log on.
I signed up, then I clicked your link and it's thrown me an error. "404 not found."
404 not found. I didn't know if I was supposed to preview.
Yeah, I'm getting the same 404 error.
Okay, so it's not just me.
Oh, you know what? Maybe I need to. Why can I? Maybe I need to get a different link.
Yeah, I found it. The problem was that the Odin Ruby
Oh, the
was
Ruby at
not
the end?
there.
Okay. So then the link is see viewing. And oh yeah, it's definitely not there. I just resubmitted the link for you, Mimi.
Okay.
You want to jump in? All right. So it looks like it froze a little bit. I saw you jump on, Horvath. There we go. So see you guys on. I should be able to find my chat window. You know, I might have to just practice this later. But I guess for now, if you guys just want to, I'll do the driving. If you guys want to just talk me through the code, because I already know the answer. But for the sake of you guys, if you just want to tell me what's next.
Ryan, sorry, which exercise are we doing?
This would be the third exercise.
Okay.
So it's called Substrings.
Okay.
So let me just pull it up properly in the terminal. All right. So my fake test, basically, by me calling the method, the variable is undefined and the arguments are both undefined. So, I mean, the simplest thing to do that, since I'm calling a variable that's undefined, is you just closed it. Is to go ahead and define the method. So, you guys obviously know how to define a method, which would be substring.
Yeah.
Okay. And it looks like you guys are both in. I guess it just took a sec. So you can actually, now you guys can actually use your cursors to see the project. Looks like it's just refreshing for you.
Got it.
So essentially, that's just refreshing. Looks like it actually deleted. All right. That's better. So now when I run it again, the method's no longer undefined, and now I have two arguments that are not defined. This is like kind of like fake testing, I guess. It's not the proper way to test. Is you can actually use syntax, but for the sake of doing this, it works. And the word below is, so I'm just going to flip back and forth. So below, and then my two arguments, which I've taken straight from the Odin page. So then I guess go ahead and run syntax error. All right. So any ideas as far as what the next step to be as far as defining the strings? We basically need to take a word and actually we'll just take a string and check to see if that string is in the dictionary. That's essentially what's happening. Simple enough. And what I'll do is, sorry, go ahead.
So do we want to take it could be an array of, instead of below, are we going to just take below, or are we going to take an array of words and then split it and then look into the dictionary each thing?
Yeah, all of the above, actually. So I just copied this from the Odin project. It's this dictionary file. I mean, you can make up your own really if you wanted to, but for the sake of the recording, I'm just going to add that. And it just looks like I just went offline for the Cloud9, so you probably won't be seeing what I'm doing up until now unless you look at my screen. So are you looking at the actual Hangout?
Oh, okay. I'm going back to Hangout. Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna. Eventually it's gonna do both. In the instructions, it says take a second argument. Okay, now I'm online.
Oops.
So it actually will be a string, you can take the string. So here it says howdy partner, sit down. How's it going? So then you can actually take that, and yes, you can then make that into an array to actually properly find out if the word is contained within that dictionary. So we'll copy this too. All right. So now we have two calls. Just reconnecting. Yeah, at least the video is not breaking on us. This is good. All right. So we've got our dictionary set up. We've got our two calls to the method. One's a string. This is a string, and the other one's a string of multiple words. Are you guys familiar with hashes and loops? You know that already?
Mm-hmm.
So the way I approached it, I took the string and started the loop to actually first I took the string because one of the limitations is it's case sensitive. So I took the string and made it into a down case. So yeah, string dictionary. Actually, instead of putting this below, this actually should be string. I jumped ahead. So I took the string and started off with down case. So that way, right off the bat, that no longer matters. So the array of dictionaries, so we've got that there. Second argument, it should return a hash listing substrings that was found in the original string and how many times it was found. So honestly, I can't remember what I did, but I know I used the split method. You guys familiar with the split method?
Yeah.
So what I did is I split the actual string using a regular expression, which I honestly don't remember how it writes. So regular expressions, which I have in my notes. There's a quick little tutorial, which I haven't even done yet. I kind of want to get through. I'm going to do that this week. But it kind of helps in order to find through a string. I use the word limitation. I'm not sure. Regular expressions I'm not even familiar with that well. But I just use the /W in order to find out if it was a word, and then I was splitting it by words. That way, within the string, we have commas, we have quotations. Where's my string? And we have question marks. We want to be able to search each word, but ignore the exclamation point and the apostrophe also. So even if it was pluralized, we're actually just looking for that word. And looks like I got 15 minutes. So let me just jump to. I don't remember. So did I do this? Caret actually checks the first word for you, but I can't remember. I'll just actually have to look at my code because I actually had to look at another code to actually implement that regular expression. So here we go. So forget you saw that. So this is what's happening. So the regular expression, it's contained within the forward slashes, and it's checking the first word within the string. So it's checking for a word within the string. And that is what is happening there. So string is being lowercase. It's in the splitting by word. And what I did is I created a loop called it word because we want to essentially, it doesn't matter if this is just one word or if this is a string of words. It's going to take the word regardless. So I took the word and then I put it into, actually, what would be the next step? Then I want to take the substrings.
Couldn't we do the word.include, or we can't do that? We can do word.include and include the dictionary in there, right?
That is a possibility, yes. And you want to add it to a hash. So one of the steps actually I did leave out is you want to create a hash because it's going to want you to see how many, it's going to put it into a hash, the listings of the words, and it's going to add a count to that. So that way, every time you call a hash, so essentially, where am I putting my notes? I had some other notes here with hashes. So h.hash.new, go fish. Normally hashes will start with a 0, so there will be no set parameter, but this kind of helps you get an idea of what's going on. And then, so I got my new hash, which is h, and then I'm setting it to a, or setting a hash a to equal 100, so that when I call hash a, I'll get 100 back. And then when I call hash b, I will get 200 essentially, and if I call a random hash that I haven't set here, I'll get go fish because I already set it here. But this hash that we have set up here is actually a blank hash, and so it's we need a if statement here, Mimi, I think.
Yeah.
So then my hash.
Brian, do we need a loop within the dictionary, first the dictionary and then the word and then do the if, or we need to go through each dictionary word, right? And then go through each word. Yeah, okay.
Yep. So dictionary, did I call it? I didn't call anything. So dictionary. Because I have a dictionary called in the argument here, so dot each do. And I named it substrings. I guess when you guys have any ideas on what to name it?
Phrase, I don't know, something like that.
What was that?
A phrase or a string, even, yeah.
Phrase, that's fine. All right, and then I don't have any ends in mind. Oops. All my shortcuts in Sublime are not available here. I like Cloud9 because actually there's a lot of shortcuts that you use within Sublime that are passed on, but some of them aren't. So like if I wanted to comment this out, I could just hit Command and /, or you can hit Control and / if you're on Windows. So some of those things kind of carry over. Oops, but some things don't. So that's why I like Cloud9. I originally recommended Nitrous, but I'm liking Cloud9 a lot better. All right, so what we have is we're going through the string, and we're taking each word within the string, and then within that loop, we're going through the dictionary and taking each word or phrase within that dictionary, which is here, and now we just need to find out how to add the phrase into a hash, into a new hash rather, and also increase the count if the word is repeated. So, I mean, do you guys agree with the if statement? I mean,
Yeah.
So if word.include.
Include phrase, right? or no?
Yes, it is.
Or phrase that include word?
Yes. So then we want to create the hash. And I can't remember what I did because I know with an array you can just throw that in there like that. But I don't think that's the proper way. Actually, why not look at the documentation on hashes? Actually, just give me 1 second. I'm just going to search something on my other screen. Actually, I wish I had more time. But let me just look at what I did here. All right. So, sorry, I'm just going to have to jump to the answer because I have a meeting actually in 7 minutes. But I guess walking through the code that I already did, which is available on the Odin page, so it's nothing different. If you guys want to work on this on your own, feel free to stop watching. But so I split the string, used a regular expression, then I did start a loop there, then started another loop within there called a substring, and then I took the hash. That's what I did. So it's actually hash word. So we're almost there. And I increased the count by 1. That's not what I did. Yeah. So increase the count by 1. Are you following what's going on here, Mimi? Sorry if I'm wrong.
No, I got it. I got it. So basically, you're putting the key and the value together, ascending.
Yeah. And I couldn't remember. And I literally had to read up on hashes. This is another thing why I've been doing Ruby for a while, but certain things like working with hashes is not something you don't just really come across that often, unless you're doing problem sets like this. And
got it.
Definitely, and I can't run the terminal to test it. Cloud 9 is freezing on me. Another problem with being at work, the internet's not as reliable in these conference rooms. But essentially that should work because the code is basically what I already had written yesterday, minus that include. But feel free, you guys have that Cloud 9 if you want to mess with that for the rest of the day and test that. But essentially that's what we're doing. I think I don't have anything else to go over. So I will end the broadcast in a sec, but I just wanted to go over the curriculum again. So that's 1 of 3 problem sets. The goal is to, even for the benefit of people watching and viewing, if you aren't up to speed enough to get through that problem set, the answers are available to provide. And if you guys want to provide your answer, feel free to submit a GitHub link. My recommendation is not to go ahead and do a pull request, but not to actually fork the project. And actually, you will need to fork the project, but not to actually install it locally. That's not even necessary. All you would need to do is just go ahead and edit it within GitHub. And if you don't know how to do that, I guess I'll create a separate video on that later, before tonight's meeting. But yeah, if you guys get stuck, there's no shame in looking in the back of the book for the answers at this point, because we're all Ruby newbies. But I do encourage you at least try to spend at least 30 minutes or an hour trying to work through it on your own. And then at that point, if you don't get through it, because even the stock picker, I had some trouble messing around with this yesterday. I kind of approached it very simply, and actually I won't even show you that, but I tried to approach it too simple, and then I forgot that the question asked for you to, in order to, pay attention to the edge cases, and also if you need to buy, you need to buy before you can sell. So those are good things to think about when going through the stock picker. But I should probably have these done by, if not tonight, probably tomorrow night, and I'll have my solutions posted to the page. But they're pretty simple once you kind of get started. What I found is what's working through Ruby problems, or any problems in general, once you get started, you kind of learn the cadence of approaching a problem. Unfortunately, being recorded and doing live coding, your brain stops working when people are watching you. So I wasn't able to figure this out without looking at my code, my previous code. But that's besides the fact. I do thank you guys for joining me now. I'm going to end the broadcast, but I guess if you guys have any questions, definitely feel free to ask. Was I screen sharing that the whole time? I guess I was talking. I didn't screen share any of that, did I?
No, we saw that.
Okay. All right, cool. So yeah, if you guys have any willingness to contribute to the Ruby Newbies page, by all means. Also, the Odin project, it's definitely a lot higher level, but feel free to contribute to that also. They definitely could use some help. They've got a lot of GitHub issues and stuff in their tracker. So some of you guys are coming from different backgrounds. I really encourage you to reach out and help out with that. But as far as that, this week, finish those 3 projects. It sounds like, Mimi, you might be up to speed with us, and some other people in the night session are up to speed with us. My recommendation is that we actually go ahead and start the next section following the project and start reading through that, so that way the next assignment will be we'll have another project too. So I think if we can keep on the pace of doing projects every week, we can get through this rather quickly. And no shame if you can't keep up, for the benefit of people listening later, because we're going to definitely offer stuff that will be beneficial to learning. Sorry, Nima, were you going to say something?
No, I said no. That's good. That sounds good.
All right, awesome. I do have a conference call I have to jump on for work, so I'm going to end the broadcast.